Sam Presti just played chess while everyone else played checkers, and the board is about to explode. You ever watch someone walk into a chess match and knew they had game by their opening? Welcome to OKC in 2025. People are calling it audacious because the Thunder aren't just picking players, they're moving like they're at war. They came off their first ever NBA title, led by MVP Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, fresh off a championship run. But their draft picks, pick 15, Thomas Sorber, Georgetown center, and 24, Nick Clifford, Colorado State guard, are just pieces. Why not keep both? Because Presti holds a bigger vision.
Oklahoma has a true team and not just a winner.
And the whispers are getting louder. Trade up options, using pick 15 and maybe 44 to land a higher impact prospect. Trading back, packaging both picks to someone who actually needs them for future assets. Or they just might keep them, stacking depth behind a young core that already conquered the league. So, what's the play here? Are the Thunder planning to strike with a big move? Or are they quietly dominating the board with depth and flexibility? Drop your thoughts, I want to hear your take. Because we're about to go deeper, isolating the risks, decoding the strategy, and questioning if OKC is playing a genius-level game or bluffing with the pump fake. Everybody talks about who they picked, but sometimes it's about who you don't pick. That's where the real strategy lives. OKC had the ammo to trade up into the top 10. They had picks, future capital, and championship shine. And you know what they didn't do? They didn't make a splash. No Ron Holland, no Donovan Clingan, no Zach Edey, who would have filled the dominant big gap Thunder fans were craving. Instead, they picked Thomas Sorber, a 6'10" bruiser with solid potential, but not exactly a headline grabber. Then they flipped pick number 24 to Sacramento for future flexibility. So, again, why? Here's where it gets spooky. OKC might be saving ammo for something bigger, because as of today, they still own 10 future first-rounders, including ones from teams like the Clippers and the Nuggets. They didn't need to grab stars. They're building sustainability. They're playing positional chess. Be honest, if you were a GM, would you go for the highlight dunk in the draft? Or sit back with a poker face and wait to rob the table next year? And wait, what if this entire slow burn strategy isn't just about players at all? What if OKC's real goal is to own the future? OKC didn't go big in this draft because they might already know who's next. While teams are obsessing over this year's rookies, the Thunder front office, they've got binders, actual binders on prospects from the class of 2026, 27, and 28. Yes, that's real. They're scouting middle schoolers. Let that sink in. This team is sitting on enough draft picks to trade into almost any future lottery if the player is worth it. OKC owns up to 15 first-rounders through 2030. 9 of those picks belong to other teams. At least 3 are unprotected. And let's not act like they're passive. Just in 2023, they flipped assets to get Cason Wallace, and it worked. Now, they're chilling because they know something we don't. They're not just collecting picks for fun. They're sitting on a future-altering trade war chest. And when the moment is right, if you were Sam Presti, would you trade the farm now for a maybe in 2025? Or keep stacking your chips until the next generational talent pops? And what if OKC's not just playing chess with players, but with money? Because what they just did with cap space, straight checkmate. While everyone else was blowing a bag in free agency, OKC quietly banked on pape and power. Here's the cold truth snapshot. Current roster, 15 players, will land them about $178.7 million in payroll for 2025-26. $9 million below the luxury tax and $17 million under the first apron. They can't use any real cap space, but they've got nearly $14.1 million in non-taxpayer mid-level exception, or NTMLE, to make smart surgical additions. Even after potential rookie picks additions are a two-way deal, OKC's sitting comfortably under financial deadlines. What this means? OKC didn't chase headline signings in 2025 because they already planned for what's coming next. That leftover financial space, it's their future ammo. By 2026, rookie deals on Chet, Jalen, Kaysen, others expire. Rising cap ceiling projected around $154.6 million plus 10% hits. They'll have over $500 million in cap room without touching Shea's Supermax. If you already locked in your core, would you drop dog shit now? Or let the legit break come when the ceiling rises for free? Cap space is one thing, but what keeps their core tight while the world hunts stars? That's what we're unpacking next. Roster timing trap. That type of synergy, that's the real edge. OKC's rebuild has been damn near scripted. Draft picks, cap space, culture, stars. But here's the real game within the game. Can you grow a super team without paying the super tax? Because the Thunder, they're walking a tightrope that very few teams survive. Let's break it down. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is locked in on a max until 2027. Jalen Williams is about to be crazy expensive when rookie extension time hits. Chet Holmgren, that unicorn tax is real, especially if he hits all-star status. Here's the trap. If you pay everybody, you go from team of the future to cap-clogged treadmill squad. If you pick favorites, you risk breaking the core chemistry before the group fully matures. So now it's chess, not checkers. Every dollar matters, every role player has to hit. And fans, you might have to stomach a painful trade just to survive the long game. If you were Presti, who's the odd man out? Or do you just pay the tax and pray? And if you think that's stressful, wait until we talk about what happens when all these picks finally come due. OKC could have chased flashy picks, superstar backups, or instant gratification. Instead, they circled the board. Now with long game picks, rotting cap space, and a cast of young stars, the question is simple. Checkmate or smoke and mirrors? There's the facts. They hold the 14th and 25th picks and are actively exploring trade-back options. Sports Illustrated reports they could send both to Milwaukee for a protected 2031 first-rounder, netting surplus draft capital while still landing talent in 25. They can also target Brooklyn. The Nets own 5 first-round picks, making them ideal trade partners for OKC to move down and collect more assets, potentially stacking future picks beyond 2025. With between 9 to 15 first-round picks in hand through 2030, many unprotected, they're calling their shots in future drafts. No desperation required. They've already landed a stashed asset like Nikola Topic. They're not assembling a team, they're building a legacy. By not reaching for a 2025 star, they preserve flexibility. By stacking picks, they create trade leverage. They can pounce any year. By staggering contracts, they avoid tax pain and money madness. All the pieces, they're locked. Is this genius? Is this the repeat blueprint? Or is it a house of cards, masterful now but vulnerable to one injury, one blown extension, one overpriced veteran? OKC isn't just playing chess, they might be teaching the rest of the league. The board is clean, the pieces are waiting. Now the only move is to execute. What do you think? Are the Thunder positioning themselves to repeat? Or will this grand chessboard collapse under pressure? Drop your verdict below.